In life, there's a strange, often unspoken thing we all do. We try to win people over. We want to be liked, to be accepted, to make everyone around us feel comfortable. So we smile a little too much. We say yes more often than we should, and we stretch ourselves thin, thinking that if we're just nice enough, friendly enough, easygoing enough, people will respect us. But here's the truth. No one tells you. Early on, respect doesn't come from being liked. It comes from being valued. And the sad, sometimes harsh part is the more you try to be liked by everyone, the less they end up valuing you. You become the person who's always there, always available, always adjusting, always trying not to offend, always sacrificing your own comfort just to keep the peace. On the surface, that sounds noble, even admirable, but people start to take you for granted because anything that's always available starts to look cheap. I'm not saying you should stop being kind or go around being rude or arrogant. That's not real strength. That's insecurity disguised with attitude. What I'm saying is you have to know your worth, because when you truly know your worth, you won't just give it away like free popcorn at a movie premiere. You'll offer it to those who deserve it, to those who respect your time, your energy, and your presence. Think about it. When was the last time you genuinely valued something that was easy to get? Whether it's people or possessions, we instinctively place higher value on what requires effort, what has boundaries, what carries intention. It's just how we're wired. You don't see people lining up for something they can grab off the street, but the moment you tell them there's a limited edition, something rare, something precious, suddenly everyone pays attention. That's exactly how you need to start treating your own time and energy. In my own life, I've been through it early in my career. I said yes to every request, every invitation, every meeting, every favor. I was everywhere, and people would say, "You're so down to earth, so approachable." And for a while, that felt good. I felt like I was doing the right thing. But slowly, I began to realize I was burning out. And worse than that, some people didn't respect the effort. It became expected I was giving my presence away, like it was a party favor, not realizing that sometimes the little mysteries and arrogance and self-preservation, I had to step back, create distance, protect my peace. And the funny thing is, when I started doing that, people didn't pull away. They leaned in, because when you stop trying so hard to be liked by everyone, so you create room for people to genuinely respect you. There is a difference between being nice and being respected. Niceness is like sugar sweet, but it dissolves quickly. Respect is like steel, strong, lasting, and unshakable. And steel isn't forged through softness. It's made through pressure, through boundaries, through valuing yourself over chasing popularity. So stop trying to win everyone over. Stop giving yourself to people who only show up when it's convenient for them. You are not a backup plan. You are not a doormat. You are not everyone's emotional support character. You are the main character in your own story. You deserve to be respected, not just appreciated for being agreeable. And if someone sticks around, only when you're bending over backward for them, but disappears the moment you say no, let them go. Let them be uncomfortable with your growth. Let them sit in the silence of your absence. Let them realize what they lost when you stop being too friendly, because here's the final truth. Your kindness should be your strength, not your weakness. Yes, let it shine. Let it touch people's lives, but don't let it be exploited. Respect is not something you casually give away. It's something you command by knowing your worth, by setting your boundaries, and by understanding that sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. And trust me, when you stop offering your worth like it's free popcorn, the world won't collapse. The people who matter will still stick around. The ones who only came for the easy benefits will move on to their next quick fix. Let them. You're a full course meal, not a sample tray. There's a deep misunderstanding in this world. People think being nice means being available all the time, that love means constant sacrifice, that friendship means never saying no, that being a good person means you never disappoint anyone. But let me tell you what I've learned, not just as a professional, but as a man who's lived, loved, lost, and learned. Boundaries aren't cruelty, they aren't clarity, they aren't walls, they are self-respect. We're taught to open our hearts, to welcome people in, to make space for everyone, and that's beautiful until it isn't, until you start shrinking so others can stretch, until your yes becomes a reflex instead of a conscious decision, until your silence starts screaming for time, the attention you're too polite to ask for. I've been there in this industry. You meet thousands of people. Everyone wants a piece of your time, your energy, your focus, and if you don't learn to draw a line not with anger but with intention, you'll drown in the noise of other people's needs and forget the sound of your own thoughts. Setting a boundary doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care deeply about yourself too. It means you realize that your peace isn't a public playground. Your energy isn't an unlimited resource. Your presence isn't something to hand out like flyers at a train station. People often believe boundaries push people away, but the right people don't run from your boundaries. They respect them, the wrong ones, though. They'll call you selfish the moment you stop catering to their comfort, and that's how you'll see the truth. The people who benefited from your lack of boundaries will be the loudest. When you be one, they'll guilt trip you, they'll tell you you've changed, and you know what, they're right, you've grown, you've learned that constantly giving without receiving isn't generosity, it's self-abandonment. Think of it like this on a plane. When the safety instructions play, they always say to put on your own oxygen mask first, before helping others. Why? Because if you can't breathe, you can't help anyone else. It's the same in life. If your soul is gasping for air, how can you possibly pour into anyone else? Boundaries are how we breathe. They allow us to give from a place of fullness, not emptiness. They let us show up for the people we care about, not with resentment, but with authenticity. Because nothing suffocates connection faster than pretending to be okay with something just to avoid a conflict. I've learned to say no, not with arrogance, not with hostility, but with honesty. And sometimes that no feels like a breakup to someone who was used to hearing yes from me all the time. And that's okay. If my no breaks something, it probably wasn't built strong enough to last in the first place. The most powerful people I've met aren't the loudest. They're the ones who know exactly what they will allow and what they will not. They walk into a room and don't need to demand respect because their energy already announces it. I value myself. It's not about being distant. It's about being deliberate. You can be warm and still firm. You can be kind and still say, that doesn't work for me. You can love someone deeply and still refuse to tolerate behavior that harms your boundaries. At the end of love, they're the framework where love can actually thrive. They protect your dignity. They shield your peace. They remind you and everyone around you that you matter too. If you're someone who's always been the giver, the fixer, the peacemaker, I see you. And it's okay to take your power back. It's okay to disappoint people who only loved you when it was convenient for them. It's okay to choose yourself without apology, because the people who truly care about you, they won't walk away when you draw a boundary. They lean in, they respect the strength it takes to speak your truth. And you'll finally breathe again, not in a loud, rebellious way, but in a quiet, steady, beautiful way. The kind of breath that reminds you that you're not here to be consumed by everyone. You're here to be cherished, protected, and respected, and it all begins with one powerful thing: boundaries. Let me say something that might sound a little harsh. Not everyone deserves access to your heart, not because your heart isn't big enough, or because you're not loving enough, but because some people haven't earned that kind of intimacy. We live in a world where connection is instant: likes, comments, messages, DMS. You can reach anyone anytime, but somewhere in this flood of constant interaction, we've lost sight of something sacred. Access to your heart is a privilege, not a default setting. We give it away too easily. Now someone is kind to us for 5 minutes, and we start trusting them with our deepest hopes. We mistake attention for affection, consistency for loyalty, charm for character, and in doing so, we open doors to people who only came to look around, but not to stay. The worst part isn't even the heartbreak. It's realizing you handed the keys to your peace, your trust, your vulnerability to someone who had no idea how to hold it. I've done it. I've wanted to be loved so badly I let the wrong people in. People who were sweet in the beginning, but turned cold when I needed warmth. People who praised me in public but doubted me in private. People who only came close when it suited them. And every time it happened, I blamed myself. Maybe I was too emotional, too trusting, too much. But what I finally learned was this: I wasn't too much. I was just giving too much of myself to people who were never meant to hold it. They weren't bad people. They just weren't meant to have access to those sacred parts of me. The soft parts, the deep parts, the parts that love without reservation. You don't hand everyone a backstage pass to your life just because they bought a ticket to the show. Your heart isn't general admission. It's a VIP invitation only. And those invitations should be earned through consistency, care, mutual effort, not convenience. It's okay to be guarded. It's okay to take your time. You are not cold for protecting your peace. You are not heartless for questioning intentions. You are not bitter for building walls. You're healing, you're learning, you're growing.